Alright, Angel Star. Eat this press. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime, yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy.
The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted.
Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I had become an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off? She was fired.
To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
Okay. Your boyfriend. I finally honed detective instincts. This one's actually pretty good. I'm gonna press this one. This boyfriend. He's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunch, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there.
That would be the room with the security sign. Not the security cafe, Emma.
Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime.
Yeah, you sensed something. Your finely honed detective instincts. You'd think the detective would have those. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder?
It felt like... how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of detective's instincts...
wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
Oh, young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
I, of course, am hard-yellowed, sharp as a tack.
I bet you stink, too. In any case there is in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
You saw the chief prosecutor, alright. By garish car, you mean...
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. She's telling the truth. We're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always complain.
You got a point there. I always complain. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly position of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph? You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap, I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. This is my first time seeing this photograph.
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Skye.
So, what was the defendant doing at the time? I have a question. Right, question. Moment of the crime as photographed, but that doesn't look like the moment of the crime to me at all. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Skye stab the victim with the knife.
As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife?
Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. Let's be a little more careful with our evidence, shall we? It is you that needs to be more careful, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. How can you tell that? Blood spatter. Huh? See the dark crimson stain on the chief prosecutor's coat? It's a black and white photograph.
Oh, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here.
No problem, except you.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse?
Ugh, got a better idea? No objection, why not?
Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
That's it?
If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold, calculating like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves.
Warg! Warg! These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder. A serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
Really? Somehow I doubt that. Actually, I have something to say about that. Oh, I don't know if this works, though. I feel like it does, but... Yes! I'm right. I'm right! Yay! Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car? All belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, Rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. Gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're gonna plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon.
Order!
Great, now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Uh-oh, Edgeworth has the shaky finger. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. Did you just make a joke? Man, he's really changed after the last episode. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant Lana Skye murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution needs to prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If she wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. Manaskai intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. Now you're just losing it. The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now be cross-examining the witness. Now she's losing it. We shook her up. We shook her up, and now she's going crazy. Just like everyone else. Because I do recall there only being one stab wound. I'm sorry. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise! I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right! Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. What a hunk! He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness?
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. Now I realize that such mistakes are possible.
So, you're saying you mistook something for blood?
When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify.
Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was.
Her what? I'm sorry, she doesn't seem to be wearing that. I apologize, but, you know. You're really stupid.
Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness clearly is not suited for detective work. But what? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself. With this photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a true professional could be so clueless. I'm sure you'll make a good lunch lady, have no fear.
Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. What was my objection? Chopped liver? But it was there. A scarf. No, not that. But something red, really.
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude. Now back to business.
What?
Very well, witness, continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? Are you reading my mind again? The part where your sister stabs the victim.
You're just like Maya.
This next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
Alright, see what you got.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Chief Prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile.
You are quite determined about this scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star.
That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
No thanks.
Note to self, Attorney Wright gets bitten by a snake. Chief Prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
Oil drum?
Hard to imagine. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Rawr!
Rawr, yes. Very well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you will.
Kicked over a barrel, Wait. I kind of forget what I'm supposed to do, but let me check this out. I would present that, but I'm going to press this first. You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Maybe I should press her for more details? Press her! I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. Lunch lane car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? I'd make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. Amazing. A cough-up queen lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. How come this guy didn't get away? Mention the muffler. Why did she mention the muffler? That's why I make confused me. She made to escape? Can you be more specific? She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a peat of foie gras. Huh? She even kicked over an oil drum at me. An oil drum? There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime. But it's strange. What's that? If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way? The other... the car entrance. That's right. Doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums. Excellent, more mysteries. I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Guy tried to run? I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright. Not as sorry as I am. But she didn't do it, you have to believe me. I'm pretty sure we actually have to press, like, all of this. So... I'm going to stop now, because we're running out of time, and we will continue destroying Angel. Next time. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.